For as long as I can remember, the way we were supposed to care for orphan children was to put them in an orphanage. But what I didn't realize was that even in really poor countries, there are families willing to care for these children. My name is Tara Garcia, and I am CEO of Identity Mission, as well as co-founder with my husband, Jorge Garcia. The school I was going to after I graduated, they were going to Honduras a lot. During that second year was like, I felt the Lord totally telling me orphan care was my call. And of course, I wouldn't have known to say that. And I met Jorge during this time. I ended up back in the States. We got married within that next year. So together, we just started coming back and forth and just looking for orphanages that needed help.
Yeah, so I grew up in Honduras, and let's say low middle class. I never really gave it any thought about where orphans would go or live or what happened with their lives, where they come from. Tara's passion was to care for the orphan, but in my eyes, this was her thing. So we're at the places, and I remember one place specifically, right? And just kind of overwhelmed with this truth that has hit me, right? Like all these kids, in my city, I had no idea about.
So for 8 years, we were just running ragged, helping orphanages, but every day was just so fulfilling, because you're just providing so many needs. So we just felt like heroes every day. Toward the end of that 8 years, we just had a year that just really, really brought us to a screeching halt of, this isn't working, and it's not just not working, we saw children dying for reasons that were very preventable.
I think orphan care in an institution, in an orphanage, trying to provide for basic needs, and we forget about the longer term. So we're giving more priority to what's urgent and not to what's most important.
And so because of these deaths in this orphanage particularly, we were able to remove one sick child. And so when we got her home, literally expecting her to die in our care, and after 2 months, she was fine. She ended up having reflux, which for any other baby is not life-threatening, but because of the situation of living in the orphanage, it was life-threatening for her. It just blew us away how simple it was. And like all of our trying to come up with solutions, complicating things like, oh, they just need a better school system or less kids per caretaker. We try to come up with all these different things. It was just like, nope, they need a mom and a dad.
If a child loses his or her family, what do we need to replace? Family, right?
Hey guys, I am here with Carla and at her cooking business, but I want to tell you a little bit about her backstory of how she got to this moment. So when they her and her husband Victor heard about what it meant to be a foster parent and open their home, they just had one small thing they had to figure out. Identity Mission was able to partner with her and get her started in her own cooking catering business. And that way, she not only took in one foster child, she took in 3.
So we're standing here at our church with a pastor from a different church. And what we're trying to accomplish is working together, all the churches. There's approximately 20,000 kids in orphanages in Honduras. It's about the same amount of churches. So if you do the math, we can solve the crisis of the orphan just by getting every church involved.
Hi, my name is Carlos, and we are in the north of Honduras. The main problem in this community, it was that the kids were stay alone in the houses because the mothers have to work in the textile industry. The risks of the gangs can enter in the houses and abuse the kids. What we did about this problem is to start daycare here with Adelina in her house. the kids in the community where no longer stay alone in the house. And two, provide for a family to start a business and have an income.
Today we're in San Isidro and just visiting one of our families and our family preservation program. Our friend Delmy here, she's just reached a point in her life where it's very difficult for her to provide as a single mom. When we find families like this, we know they're super at risk for their kids entering the orphanage or just being taken away because they simply can't provide for their kids. In Delmy's case, it's going to be as simple as helping her put a little store in her home. She'll have a window and people just come and kind of like a mini grocery store. So we'll get them through this one, get them economically sound, and then connect them to their local church so they can continue to have support. The foster care program of Identity Mission is just blazing the trail here in Honduras for families to understand that A, what foster care is and that they can open their homes, and B, what it means for a child to grow up in a family instead of an orphanage. So Carla is just one example of many families that have said yes to this calling and opened their homes to children and just loved on them for the time that they've been with them.
Imagine someone's watching this. It's like, why should people care about the people of Honduras and the work you're doing?
Right. What I wish people knew more than anything is how much the Honduran people of the Honduran church is so willing to step in and care for their own, to care for the orphans. And so I think the beautiful opportunity of partnering with Honduras specifically is this is such an amazing moment to change the trajectory of orphan care for the country.
Part of the goal is keeping those families together by helping them understand that they can be sustainable. You know, sometimes people just want someone that they can talk to. Not even any type of support, but just being able to make a phone call when I'm out of source.
That's what that partnership looks like here in Honduras, partnering with Identity, so we can partner with the church and the Honduran foster families and the Honduran families that want to adopt and just make it a reality for them that resources and money is not the reason. You know, poverty is not the reason the kids aren't getting to stay in their family. Yeah, when I see the face of a child when we get to visit a foster family or a family in our preservation program, it's just knowing and seeing, you know, they're secure, they feel safe, you know, they just get to have a normal kid life. Just knowing that Identity Mission has been able to be a part of that is just, it's huge.
It became personal to me. So it's not a giant orphan crisis that I can't do anything about. It's Milton and Edwin and Madeline, right? Sorry, I'm getting a little teary-eyed.